Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, March 13th, 2019. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here is a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Overall, the ES continues to trend higher. You can notice here that since the beginning of the year, we've been seeing clear uptrending behavior. This recent pullback here came right into about the 2720s, and then recently saw a very nice bounce. Obviously, this rejection day on Friday was very solid. Monday, an aggressive program driven trend day, and now we're having 2 days of digestion at the moment. And again, this could be the compression ahead of what leads to more strength. Overall, this market still continues to trend up. We are at 2800 and 2820 is a major area of resistance, but nothing says that we can't continue higher through that area. So again, these moving averages continue to be very bullish. The pivot range continues to come in and provide support. Price continues to hold above the previous month's close here and continues to see higher lows here and is pushing for another higher high within the trend. So all of that still continues to demonstrate bullish trending framework there, and that suggests more strength. Now the clear area to watch there is the previous month's close. Any failure to hold that level on an intraday basis could lead to some significant selling. So 2-day lows come right in at around 2788 or so, 2787. That could be a very good breakdown point for a failure. I would say one thing though, usually when you see this type of behavior here, perhaps if we continue to see range bound activity throughout most of the session, again, any failed new low could be a great continuation play as well. So right now, everything's still pointing up. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if price has a failure of this high of some sort, maybe it's a lower high, maybe it's a higher high failure, that could be a rejection that easily leads to a retest of this low. So we need to cleanly push through that high. If not, any rejection could lead us right back to that recent pivot low. All right, so those are a few scenarios right here, but the bias remains to the upside. Here's the NQ. NQ pushing higher very nicely, 2 new highs. This is beyond the previous month's high, beyond the current month's high, into new highs this morning. Very nice rejection day Friday. Monday with a great pullback and continuation, trend day, program driven trend day, and continues to hold the pivot range in a higher value relationship as this thing trends higher. So again, very bullish structure, very bullish behavior. That would suggest more strength ahead. The recent highs up here would be about 7,400. That was the recent pivot. That's where prices got sold off back in October hard. Obviously they pushed back from this level, but that's where it really changed and transitioned to the bearish structure. So that level right there is going to be the next one up. Do we get into 7,400? That's only about 135 points from now. We could certainly do that. So any pullback still could be a buying opportunity for a continuation toward 7,400 in the near term. If we take a look here at, let's do crude oil here. You'll notice crude oil continues to show strength as well. This one had quite a bit of trading range activity here, very compressed. We had the failed new low, which was the sharpest, most significant low at the most important swing pivot level, and that has led to a nice bounce. So from the 5450s, we have gone to 5750. That's a good 3-handle rally. And again, given the compression of this range over the last few weeks, expansion could be very significant whichever way this thing wants to go. I think it's headed to the upside, but again, we gotta let it prove it out. Overall, continue to watch prices above 57 here. If it can hold 57s, perhaps there's a squeeze coming. But clearly any failure to hold 57s here would rotate this thing right back down to the bottom of the range. Alright, let's take a look now at gold. Everything is flowing to the upside right now, including gold. Gold has gotten a recent bounce here off the 1280s. We got a nice stop run day on the previous session here, which was Thursday. Friday it held the pullback zone. Sorry, that was Friday. This was Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday here we are continuing higher. This is what we talked about yesterday. If price can just hold the 1290 zone or thereabouts, that would likely lead to the potential to squeeze through 1300 and get toward 1310. Today's high is 1309.40 with more potential upside back to the previous month's close at 1315. So overall, this thing continues to flow higher. I think once it gets to that blue dotted line, you got to continue to watch for signs of rejection or see what happens. For right now, that's the beginning of the month going offered at the previous month's close. It found rejection, and now it's likely headed back to that level. Again, could be some selling pressure just by nature of profit taking, and there could also be selling pressure by way of actual short interest there. So again, continue to watch that level as a target, and then also once it gets there, perhaps if we see some sort of rejection, that may mean something going back this way, or if we can get through it finally, we may be headed back toward 1360 finally. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I will see you in the trading room.